Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, and something about Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. We are back on Ty's path now. Let me just the brightness of this real quick. Alright, so I think maybe we should go ahead and jump right in. Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Alrighty. Okay. Alright. Uh-oh. Yeah, so, jeez, it's all kind of a blur now. He assured me that he likes me, but he thinks he might be doing this for the wrong reasons. He kind of explained it like he was slamming on the brakes to avoid hurting me. Well, I mean, that's bullshit, isn't it? He already hurt you in doing that. What were the wrong reasons exactly? That's just it. He wouldn't say. He said it was necessity that he couldn't tell me. Dude, that ain't right. He just dumps you and feeds you some cryptic bullshit as to why. Well, he didn't dump me per se, but he said he needs some time to process, so I guess I'll be seeing him when I work on Tuesday. He didn't say much more. I mean, I left before he could. I guess after all that I needed some space to myself. And that's when you walked home. When you showed up here looking all sad? Yep. Shit, dude. I don't know what to say. I ain't good at this whole emotional support thing, but I feel for you, you know? It fucking sucks what you're going through. Ty is kind of a dick for doing that. I mean, is he? If he's being truthful, maybe he's doing the right thing. Maybe this is all for the right reasons. I don't honestly have any reason not to trust him, regardless of how much today hurt. I gotta be honest with you, dude. I don't know if I trust him on that myself. Kinda sounds like a gentle way to let you down, you know? Like, maybe he just doesn't have the balls or whatever to break up with you properly. Like, maybe there was some physical attraction going on, but once you two had, done the deed, he realized physical attraction is really all it ever was. A bad case of post-nut clarity, whatever, you know? Dude, you're not helping. Sorry, I'm just, it makes sense though, right? You gotta look at these things from all angles. You can't let yourself be gullible. I couldn't help but recognize the irony in that, given Diego was probably the most gullible person I knew. I decided against derailing the conversation with yet another dig at Diego, as much as I'd enjoy his exaggerated reaction. I guess you gotta ask yourself, do you trust Ty? I mean, I do, but I haven't known him for long. What about you? You've been working for him for a long while, right? Do you trust him? This question stopped Diego in his tracks, as he took time to work out his answer. Finally, he spoke once more. I don't think Ty is a bad guy, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say I trust him, no. Huh? Why do you think that? I don't know if I've told you, but he's kind of the guy who knows everything about everyone. Yet, nobody knows anything at all about him. He keeps his secrets close to his chest, only revealing things when it gives him an advantage, or he sees no other choice. He also has a habit of interfering in other people's business. He means well, but, he keeps things from people and plays them like some kind of fucked up game of chess. Just because he's trying to help doesn't make that right, you know? So, nah. I don't think he's being malicious or anything, but the fact that he's, keeping something from you rubs me up entirely the wrong way. It just doesn't bode right, but that's just me. Do you think it's anything I did? Was there anything I could have done to avoid this outcome? Actually, that's one other thing about Ty. He has a hard time lying to people. He manipulates situations through omission, but I haven't known him to outright lie before. I guess what I'm saying is if he said that he has feelings for you, that's probably the truth. I don't think he'd say something like that just to preserve your feelings. I see. But it's what he hasn't said that I'm wary of. There's nothing else he said that gives you any clues. I don't know. It's so hard without knowing what to look for. Honestly, he hasn't said a whole lot either. I guess all we can do is wait and see for now. Do you think he'll still want to be with me? I do. Diego began to say something before stopping himself. After a brief pause, he started over, saying something different. I'm sure he will, dude. You'd have to be stupid to let someone as great as you pass them by. I smiled. I knew he specifically said what he did to cheer me up, but I appreciated it a great deal. Thanks, Diego. That means a lot to me. And thank you for cheering me up, too. For being here. I'm lucky to have you as my best friend. Aw, come here. Diego pulled me close, my still damp clothing and fur pressing against his dry coat, but he didn't care. He held me close for several moments before we returned to our previous positions. Wait, no? Water time? Or coffee time? Okay. I'm lucky to have you as my best friend too, Hunter. Diego flashed a bright and cheerful smile, which I subsequently returned. Despite his actions and words supporting one another, I felt as though there was something a little strange about that previous sentence. Something I couldn't quite put my finger on. Yeah, because he has feelings for you, buddy. I pondered this for several moments before Diego caught my attention by sharply shifting the topic of conversation. So, how about we take our mind off the sad stuff for a bit and play something? I borrowed a game from Axel just today, so we could play that. I conceded to myself that a distraction would hardly be a bad thing and decided to go along with Diego's suggestion. Sure thing. Well, what is it? It's a racing game, right? But it's really fun. Like, you can pick all these power-ups like weapons and boosts and use them against everyone else. It's really hectic. What do you say? What do I say? I say you're going down, Diego. Over my dead body. That's the plan. Ooh, feisty. Hope you're bringing your A game. And so with that, Diego and I closed out an otherwise challenging day yelling at each other over power-ups, and in Diego's words, a whole lot of fucking bullshit. I had a lot of fun and even managed to win the majority of the races, something Diego grew gradually more furious about as time went on. It was a perfect distraction from everything that had transpired, and I was grateful to Diego for suggesting it. Despite this, however, my mind couldn't help but drift back to Ty. I still had a crazy crush on him, and I still trusted him, but it was what I didn't know that bothered me. I couldn't understand why things had gone the way they did. Is it wise to trust him? I mean, what did he mean by the right reasons? If there were right reasons, then what were the wrong ones? What was the challenging situation Ty spoke of that perhaps sparked this whole mess? And above all else, what were the necessities that prevented Ty from going into any detail? Man, why must relationships always be so damn complicated? Day 9. The morning had commenced in a typically uneventful fashion before Diego and I had gone our separate ways to our respective workplaces for the day. Today, Diego was working for Ty, and I was working for Lucas. I found myself suppressing my... Oh, goodness. I found myself suppressing my urge to message Diego and ask after Ty. After all, Diego had only just started work. I was sure I would find out more later on. The surge was perhaps in part spurred on by the terrible night's sleep I had had the night prior. It was several hours before I would finally drift off, only to awaken roughly an hour later and barely get another wink of sleep before the morning. Understandably, I was tired. So very, very tired. And worried. Upset, scared, conflicted. Did I mention that I was tired? Thankfully, my workload for the day was more preparation for the combat tournament, with my specific task being to prepare letters that would be mailed out to the combatants taking part in the heats. I was thankful it was something simple and not strenuous. Working alongside me was the usual crew of Lucas, Eric, and Dom. Dom was seated just across from me working on the design for some last-minute advertising, while Lucas and Eric seemed to have their hands full with the office printer. Paper jam? Why? It was printing fine a second ago. You've got to make sure it's in straight. It was. Eric then opened a flap located on the rear of the printer and pulled free a crumpled piece of paper before closing it, turning back towards Lucas. Okay, hit it, handsome. I'll hit you if you keep calling me handsome. I hope that's a promise, hot stuff. Things appeared to be largely business as usual between the two. Here's another stack of flyers to be cut into quarters. Thanks. I accepted the stack of flyers in a brief diversion from my previous task and absent-mindedly began separating them while becoming lost in my own mind. Hey, so I was wondering, remember how we found that abandoned building a while back? I do. Axel is really excited to go. He's been pressuring me about it non-stop. Second, y'all. Coffee time. So I was wondering if you wanted to come with. Oh, you could invite Ty too, if you think he'd be interested. What do you say? The mention of Ty's name sent a sharp pain shooting through my chest. Of course, Dom had no knowledge of what had transpired. Really? Axel's excited? I thought he was opposed to the idea. Still, you can count me in. I'd been wondering when we were going to get around to doing that. Great. I'll be packing lunch too, so don't worry about that either. Oh, and be sure to invite Ty as well. The more the merrier. Besides, none of the three of us are particularly big dudes. I'm sure Axel will feel safer with someone like Ty around to protect us. You say that as though you're expecting trouble. Of course not. It's just insurance. You know how it is. Alright then, I know he's working today, so I don't know if he'll be free, but I'll ask. There'll be a sandwich in it for him if he does. That trick might work on Diego, but I don't know about Ty. I suppose we'll find out then, won't we? I pulled my phone from my pocket and started a new message to Ty. I knew the two of us were supposed to be spending time apart, but, well, I told Dom I'd at least try. With the message freshly sent, I returned my phone to my pocket, and both Dom and I returned to our work, only to be distracted by Eric's voice excitedly bellowing from across the room. It's working! Job well done, Eric. We should celebrate. Damn right we should. Thus followed the strangest thing I'd seen since my arrival in Woodcrest. Lucas' face adorned with an uncharacteristically bright smile gave Eric an excited high five. Weirder yet, the two made a beeline for the exit, Eric boldly slapping Lucas on the behind as they went. And if all that wasn't already weird enough, Lucas not only didn't seem to mind, but allowed Eric to wrap his arm around his waist as the two departed the office. They're gonna go fuck. What the hell was that? I wish I knew. I so wish I knew. Well, ignoring whatever that was, let's try and get this work finished, so we can go exploring. Yeah, let's do that. The two of us briskly worked, powering through our respective workloads. It would be nearly an hour before we'd finish, with no sign of Eric or Lucas returning. Having done everything we've been tasked with, the two of us departed in the direction of the woods where Axel had already agreed to meet us. After what was roughly a half-hour walk characterized by Dom's interest in my involvement with Ty and my attempts to downplay things to avoid getting into the most recent of developments, the two of us would finally arrive at the entrance to the woods. As we'd expected, Axel was there waiting for us. It was, however, to my great surprise that he wasn't alone. Hey, Dom, Hunter! A very good afternoon to you both. It is a pleasure to witness you hale and whole, Hunter. Wait, how did Ty know to meet us here? Not only had I not told him the location, but I hadn't even known it myself when I'd messaged him. Let me guess. How did I know to meet you here? Simple. It would just so happen that Axel here was delivering produce when your message came in. Thus I accompanied him to rendezvous with you here. Yep, convenient, right? It was terribly convenient. And strange that, despite everything, Ty would not only make an appearance, but be in such high spirits as well. Who's looking after the bar? Why, Diego, of course. After all, it is a Monday, one of our quietest days. He is quite capable of that, I can assure you. If you say so. Well, it's good to see you, Ty. Likewise, Hunter, likewise. Now, are the three of you ready to get a move on? Just a moment. There's one thing before we do. Dom reached into a bag he had been carrying with him and pulled out 4 of his curried egg sandwiches, distributing one to each of us. Neither Hunter nor I had lunch, and these are best eaten fresh. Yay, my favorite! Thanks, Dom! How curious. Ty held his sandwich up to his nose, inhaling deeply. Curry powder? Is that paprika I smell? I can only surmise the filling here is curried egg. That's right. Ty took a bite from his sandwich and spent several seconds chewing before a wide smile spread across his face. My goodness, these are quite good. Well, oh. If I can yell. Coffee time. That means a lot coming from someone with your cooking expertise. Thank you. Please, I flatter not. This is a terrific recipe, and clearly something you have made time and time again, considering the tidy presentation. Well, they are Axel's. Yep, Dom makes these for me all the time. They're so great. Ah, how sweet. Axel's lucky to have you, Dom. Thanks. Taking a bite from my own sandwich, I noticed the filling was still cold. Come to think of it, when had Dom had time to prepare these? Had he done so before work and kept them refrigerated there? How did he know both Ty and I would agree? Did he make extras just in case? Is something wrong, Hunter? Your face is all scrunched up. Huh? Oh, it's nothing. The 4 of us finished up our sandwiches before proceeding onward into the woods, retracing our steps from days prior, hoping to locate the abandoned building once more. Axel and Dom chattered between themselves as we walked while Ty and I remained largely silent, soaking in the atmosphere of our surroundings. Eventually, however, Ty would match my pace to walk alongside me, initiating a conversation. Thank you for inviting me here, Hunter. It was a pleasant surprise receiving your message. It's no problem, but I have to admit, I'm shocked. Might I inquire as to why? Well, after yesterday, you said we should spend some time apart, and yet, here we are. Isn't this the opposite of what you wanted? Perhaps, or perhaps we are here as friends. Maybe this is even work-related. We could call it a team-building exercise. Nothing he just said made any sense to me whatsoever, but I wouldn't have the opportunity to argue, both of us having been distracted by a voice up ahead. Hey, look! We're here! Sure enough, the 4 of us had arrived at the abandoned building. It looked entirely undisturbed, no different from how it had looked almost a week before. All right, everyone ready? Yep. Ty, any doubts? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!